At the northern edge of Europe, where the Atlantic Ocean collides with the icy waters of the Arctic, lies the Norwegian Sea, a place of breathtaking beauty and formidable power. Towering black cliffs, glacier-carved fjords, and powerful storms, capable of raising waves several stories high, have shaped one of Europe's most dramatic seascapes. But if you think this is simply a frozen wilderness known for the northern lights and whales, then you've only seen part of its story. In this journey, we'll explore one of Europe's most challenging and fascinating seas. The deeper we venture, the more you'll discover that the Norwegian Sea is defined not only by its extraordinary landscapes, but also by the voyages that helped shape the course of European history. Before we begin, however, we must travel back more than 1,000 years, because to truly understand the Norwegian Sea, you first have to understand the people who mastered it, the Vikings. By the late 8th century, hundreds of small communities had emerged along the rugged western coast of Scandinavia, tucked between towering mountains and narrow fjords. With little farmland and long, unforgiving winters, survival depended on one thing: the sea. The Norwegian Sea was never easy to master. Powerful waves, violent storms, and icy Arctic currents made every voyage a test of skill and endurance. Yet these harsh conditions forged the Vikings into some of the finest seafarers in medieval Europe. To meet these challenges, they built the legendary longships, sleek, narrow vessels with shallow drafts and remarkable speed. These ships could cross the open ocean while also navigating far inland along rivers, allowing the Vikings to explore distant coasts and penetrate deep into foreign territories. As their maritime skills advanced, the Norwegian Sea became the launching point for remarkable expeditions. Vikings settled Iceland, colonized Greenland, and around the year 1000, the expedition led by Leif Erikson reached the shores of North America, nearly 5 centuries before Christopher Columbus. Beyond exploration, the Norwegian Sea also became a vital trade route linking Scandinavia with the British Isles, the Baltic region, and mainland Europe. Timber, iron, furs, amber, and many other goods crossed these waters, helping Viking communities grow increasingly prosperous. History gave the Norwegian Sea its legends. But it is nature itself that continues to make this one of Europe's most magnificent and awe-inspiring seas. The jet-black granite cliffs of Lofotodden National Park rise straight from the Norwegian Sea into the sky, forming a geological barrier more than 3,300 feet high. The freezing Arctic wind blows through, causing the season's first snowflakes to cling tightly to the crevices of 11.5 billion foot old rocks. Faint sunlight paints the cliff tops a rusty copper color, contrasting with the dark, turquoise seawater below. Massive waves repeatedly crash against the base of the sheer cliffs, exploding into countless misty sprays. The wind whistles through narrow rock fissures, creating violent, swirling gusts that whip clothing aside. From high above, seabirds soar before diving swiftly to catch their prey. Ancient Norwegian fishermen rowing through blinding snowstorms often use the shadow of this enormous black cliff to find their way home. This rugged terrain was clearly shaped by the retreat of enormous glaciers at the end of the Ice Age more than 10,000 years ago. The destructive force of the ice eroded the softer rock layers, leaving behind isolated razor-sharp peaks. On radar screens, the harsh erosion appears like a permanent geological scar clinging to the edge of the continent. The cold waters surrounding this rocky barrier conceal a fast-moving ocean current that carries nutrient-rich water rising from the depths of a deep trench. This unique ecosystem attracts large numbers of cod swimming beneath the darkness of the ocean. Ancient legend says these jagged rock formations are sea monsters turned to stone when dawn suddenly appeared. Perched above the fishing village of Reine in the Lofotodden archipelago, Reinebringen Peak rises 1,470 feet with its steep, rugged cliffs. The route to the summit is an extraordinary feat of engineering consisting of 1,560 stone steps hand-built by Sherpas from Nepal. Powerful ocean winds sweep relentlessly across the narrow, gray, rocky ridge. These stone steps were constructed after authorities closed the original trail for years because of fatal landslides. The restoration of the route stands as a testament to humanity's effort to overcome nature in order to protect lives. The sound of heavy footsteps echoes across the weathered stone. The silent struggle between human determination and the unforgiving terrain becomes clear as fog rolls in, swallowing the entire view below. Climbers grip the icy rock ledges tightly, advancing one careful step at a time through the freezing Arctic air. Damp moisture envelops every tense muscle. As the fog drifts away, the reward is a breathtaking panorama of Reinefjorden, where small islands are linked by slender bridges. The view from Reinebringen confirms its reputation as one of the most spectacular scenic destinations on Earth, capturing the grandeur of Norway, in a single glance. Crossing the dense fog of Nordland County, the granite Seven Sisters mountain range suddenly rises majestically into view, stretching across the Helgeland coastline. Seven razor-sharp rocky peaks stand side by side, forming a natural wall reaching 3,317 feet in height. This rugged landscape was shaped during the Ice Age and has continuously endured powerful waves crashing against the base of the cliffs. The rock formation is tied to the legend of 7 giant demon sisters fleeing a fierce hunter throughout the night. When dawn split the Arctic sky, the sunlight touched them, turning them into stone forever. This spiritual tale transformed the barren cliffs into a cultural symbol passed down through generations in Norway. The view from the ship's deck drifts across fractured rock layers carved by the weight of thousands of years. Ocean fog quickly rolls in, swallowing the mountain peaks and sending damp, icy air across the slopes. Bands of ash-gray rock constantly shift, becoming denser and darker beneath the freezing rain, driving straight into the eyes. The scene widens as the fog drifts away, revealing the silhouette of a white-tailed eagle soaring around the high rock cavities. The wind whistles through the narrow mountain pass, carrying the scent of sea salt and whipping a hiker's clothing. The nomad's footsteps stop at the edge of the abyss. The scene closes as darkness completely engulfs the sacred cliffs. Henningsvær is often called the Venice of the Arctic. Yet instead of romantic bridges, it offers only narrow lanes swept by sea winds. This fishing village in the Lofotodden archipelago is scattered across several small rocky islands rising from the ocean. Its most remarkable landmark is the Henningsvær soccer field, built beside the waves and surrounded by racks of drying cod. The sharp sound of a soccer ball striking the fence blends with the roar of waves from the Norwegian Sea, creating a sound unlike anywhere else. The village children grow up playing soccer in the bone-chilling cold, their eyes fixed on the towering granite mountains in the distance. To them, this field is their entire world, and the place where dreams begin. Weathered wooden houses painted in bright colors cling tightly to the rocky ground, sheltering generations of fishermen. At the harbor, elderly fishermen coil frozen ropes while recalling violent storms that nearly overturn their boats. Their stories hold no glamour, only the unmistakable taste of sea salt. Henningsvær captivates visitors through the extraordinary connection between human passion and a harsh landscape. The sight of a soccer ball rolling across bright green grass between the sea and the mountains has become a symbol of the village's resilient spirit. It stands as living proof that people can create something extraordinary anywhere. Nestled along the shores of Reinefjorden on Moskenesøya Island, Reine appears as a vibrant jewel amid the wild Lofotodden archipelago. This historic fishing village is consistently ranked among the most beautiful places on Earth thanks to nature's extraordinary design. Bright red wooden rorbu cabins reflect perfectly upon the calm, deep blue waters. Behind those cabins rise the towering granite cliffs of the Lofotodden mountain range, standing like a massive fortress crowned with snow. The rugged peaks embrace the peaceful fjord, creating a landscape that both shelters and challenges those who live there. It is a place that demands resilience. Life in Reine revolves around fishing boats and the cries of seabirds circling above the drying racks. Each morning, local fishermen quietly repair their nets, their weathered faces marked by Arctic sea winds and salty mist. They speak in deep, unhurried voices. As solid and genuine as the old wooden rorbu cabins themselves. Reine's charm does not come from grand buildings, but from the honesty of a fishing village shaped by the sea. Travelers come here simply to watch small boats glide across the fjord beneath the reflections of towering mountains. It is a living portrait of human resilience surrounded by untamed nature. Rising vertically from the sea into the sky, Stetind National Mountain is a granite pillar, standing 4,567 feet tall at the end of Snøfjorden in Narvik, Nordland. This sacred rock, known by its ancient name, Stada, has a smooth shape resembling a gigantic blacksmith's anvil. The calm turquoise waters of the narrow fjord below reflect the magnificent cliff. In 1910, the first explorers successfully conquered this once seemingly inaccessible rock tower. Stetind became a legendary climbing sanctuary thanks to the spectacular contrast between the gray monolithic granite and the deep blue ocean surrounding it. This striking combination of colors transformed the remote landmark into a natural masterpiece. A breathtaking struggle for survival unfolds along the normal route, where climbers face narrow, exposed rock slopes. Visitors must use specialized safety ropes to cross the suspended 80-degree cliff. From above, snow-covered mountain ranges stretching across the horizon come into view, opening an endless panorama. Cold air rises from the fjord, blending with the afternoon sunlight to create brilliant colors across the wild landscape of Nordland. When footsteps finally reach the smooth anvil-shaped summit, the reward is a vast panorama filled with the breathtaking beauty of the Arctic. Crossing the windswept roads of Troms County, Segla Mountain on Senja Island immediately comes into view with its sheer cliff rising 2,096 feet high. This massive rock formation plunges straight down into the bay below, creating a sharp and rugged geological profile. Powerful ocean winds repeatedly slam against the rock face, roaring without pause. Arctic hunters of the past passed down stories of survival along these dangerously steep cliffs. A single misstep here would send someone straight into the abyss below. Thick fog suddenly rolls in, swallowing the rugged trail and isolating hikers within a gray wilderness. The freezing cold seeps through every layer of footwear. The struggle between humans and nature is revealed in every fractured layer of granite, exposing evidence of violent landslides from the past. The sound of glacial boulders tumbling into the deep chasm echoes like a warning from the mountain itself. The traveler tightens their backpack and carefully presses each foot into narrow cracks to continue climbing. Night falls quickly, forcing the lone traveler to stop and seek shelter beside a rock alcove protected from the wind. Looking down from above, the faint lights of the coastal town briefly appear. The scene closes as the wind howls across the mountain peak, erasing every trace of human presence. "400 million cubic meters of seawater suddenly erupts with a deafening roar, surging into a narrow strait less than 328 feet wide in Nordland County. The moon's gravitational pull has just awakened Saltstraumen, unleashing the most powerful tidal current on Earth. The once peaceful surface is torn apart, twisting into a brutal battlefield of tides. Deep whirlpools, nearly 33 feet in diameter, spin furiously, roaring as though they could swallow the abyss itself. Tiny motorboats drift helplessly through the raging current, their engines screaming in vain as they struggle to escape the merciless pull. Humanity suddenly feels insignificant before the terrifying roar of the rising waters. Beneath the turbulent depths, life flourishes as schools of fish plunge into a feeding frenzy driven by the powerful current. Hidden coral reefs strain against the immense force, clinging stubbornly to the rocky walls as the pressure constantly shifts direction. Life and death dance together within the heart of the storm. Then everything suddenly falls silent as the tide reaches its peak, returning the strait to a calm, mirror-like surface. This breathless stillness lasts only a few brief minutes before the current reverses, beginning another destructive cycle. The streaks of white foam quickly fade into the freezing air. Sognefjord swallows the sunlight with a dark abyss, plunging more than 4,265 feet beneath the calm surface of Vestland County. This immense body of water cuts through steep mountain ranges, stretching 127.4 miles deep into the mainland. The pressure of billions of tons of water bears down on ancient geological fractures. Experienced sailors always proceed with caution when navigating Norway's longest flooded labyrinth. Powerful winds often plunge directly from the mountaintops into the vast fjord, turning it into a hidden navigational trap. Even the most advanced navigation systems struggle against the towering cliffs that block their signals. Along the water's edge, narrow rocky ledges have become places where local people endure harsh winters, clearing snow to cultivate the land. Their lives are measured not by clocks, but by the moment the sun disappears behind the steep mountain peaks. The steady sound of pulleys hauling supplies up the cliffs breaks the silence of isolation. The saltwater channel reaches the end of the mainland before meeting the eternal glaciers descending from above. Freshwater and seawater merge, marking the final boundary of a complete natural cycle. The boat's engine falls silent, giving way to the sharp echoes of cracking ice reverberating through the deep fjord. Svolvær welcomes you with biting cold and the scent of wind-dried cod drifting through the narrow streets of the Lofotodden archipelago. The town rests beneath towering, jagged cliffs that plunge directly into the icy sea. There is no room here for comfort or illusion. Every view is raw, rugged, and uncompromising. Bright red wooden cabins stand on stilts above the water, enduring the relentless roar of crashing waves day and night. Along the shoreline, millions of cod hang from towering drying racks, curing beneath the cold Arctic sun. They represent the price of survival and the proud scars of generations of fishermen. Step into a local tavern at dusk, and you'll meet weathered faces reddened by sea salt and cold winds. They laugh loudly while sharing stories of near-fatal voyages or daring climbers who leaped across the gap atop Svolværgeita. Glasses clash together with sharp, cheerful echoes, creating an unexpected warmth. As night falls, the town fades into darkness, with only the lights from fishing boats shimmering across the water. Above, the deep green northern lights begin to drift lazily across the sky like a silent ghost. Svolvær needs no embellishment. It captivates visitors through the rugged, salt-soaked authenticity of life on the Arctic frontier. The Atlantic Ocean Road stretches straight into the open sea of Møre, Romsdal County, where granite islets rise like the backs of ancient whales. This arc of submerged reefs bears the full fury of the Norwegian Sea, turning the deep blue water into vast fields of white foam. Waves crash thunderously against the rocks, echoing directly into the driver's cabin. "12 bridges cling tightly to the rugged reefs, standing firm against the relentless force of the ocean currents. At the famous Storseisundet Bridge, the concrete roadway curves along the steep rocks, creating the illusion of rising straight into the gray sky. Salty sea spray bursts continuously into the air, covering everything with a damp mist. During storms, the dark ocean surges violently, rushing between the bridge supports before swallowing sections of the roadway. Seagulls scream while circling frantically through powerful gusts that tear at the moss clinging to the cliffs. The raw power of Arctic nature shakes the entire structure. Beyond the salt-soaked rocky shoreline, the road fades into the distance, giving way to resilient coastal vegetation clinging to the land. The late afternoon sunlight breaks through the clouds, painting the boundary between the rocks and the vast ocean in shades of golden bronze. The roar of the waves gradually softens, leaving only the steady whistle of the coastal wind. From the icy waters of Fjords in Troms County, Hesten Peak rises like a gigantic stone blade, standing 1,824 feet tall, piercing the sky. This sheer granite cliff faces the legendary Segla mountain directly, forming a harsh corridor of powerful winds. Powerful ocean swells crash relentlessly against the rocky base. Ancient fishermen of Senja always watched this sharp ridge to predict fierce storms approaching the mainland. The gently sloping grassy terrain behind the mountain once served as shelter for herds of wild reindeer escaping the Arctic cold. The wind whistles relentlessly along the cliff face like a never-ending melody. Deep fractures across the mountain reveal the devastating force of the Ice Age, after millions of years of erosion. Slippery mud mixed with loose rocks beneath each step challenges every breath of those determined to reach the summit. The damp, freezing air from the open sea strikes directly into the chest, numbing every sense. After tens of thousands of years, Hesten has become an invaluable geological heritage landmark and one of Norway's premier locations for photographing the northern lights. The combination of rugged cliffs and panoramic views embracing the bay has made this place an enduring symbol of survival. The 492-foot-tall granite pinnacle of Svolværgeita rises straight from the slopes of Saltfjellet. Beside the town of Svolvær, in the Lofotodden archipelago of Nordland County. This extraordinary geological formation is commonly known as the Svolværgeita. The solitary gray rock stands exposed, constantly battered by salt-laden winds roaring in from the open sea. Its unique shape, resembling two goat horns reaching into the sky, has made this place a sacred destination for rock climbing. Adventurers from around the world share stories of the life-or-death leap across the 4.9-foot gap between the two rocky summits. The extreme danger awakens the instinct to conquer in the hearts of the bold. Fractured layers of rock reveal geological traces left by tens of thousands of years of erosion under the immense weight of the Ice Age. Ocean fog rolls in rapidly, swallowing the safety ropes and covering the slippery rock slabs with damp, icy air. The sound of metal chains striking the cliff creates sharp echoes across the empty landscape. The journey ends as the adventurers finally set foot upon the towering Goathorn summit. Saltfjellet-Svartisen National Park sits deep within Nordland County, stretching across the Arctic Circle. The landscape is surrounded by towering rocky mountains that rise straight from the open sea. Snow blankets the mountain peaks all year round. A gray sky casts its shadow over the scenery. Freezing winds blow constantly, cutting straight into the skin of anyone passing through. The enormous Svartisen Glacier covers 143 square miles and slopes all the way down to the edge of the sea. Jostedalsbreen National Park comes into view with the largest continental glacier in Europe, covering more than half of the Vestland region. This permanent ice sheet is up to 1,969 feet thick, equivalent to the height of a skyscraper pressing down on the valley. The thunderous roar of massive ice slabs suddenly cracking echoes through the landscape, shattering the silence. The freezing cold strikes directly against your face, as you step beneath water-soaked frozen rock masses hanging low over the valley. Drops of meltwater falling from the glacier's core patter across the smooth granite surface, creating cloudy, jade-colored streaks. This enormous frozen mass constantly moves at a slow pace, crushing everything beneath it. Steep mountains surround the icy lake basin, which has been deeply carved by tens of thousands of years of geological erosion. The lake's surface turns completely cloudy because fine rock flour ground from the mountaintops washes into the water. The pressure of thousands of tons of ice from the Ice Age has exposed ancient fractured rock layers in all their rugged form. The fine sandy shore of Kvalvika beach appears unexpectedly, nestled between towering dark granite cliffs in Nordland County. The turquoise sea rolls in relentlessly, crashing against the crescent-shaped shoreline hidden within the rugged landscape. The sound of Atlantic waves echoes through the bay with a deep, powerful roar. The only way to reach this beach is by hiking across a rugged mountainside, completely isolated from the outside world. Untouched wilderness surrounds every step as wild grasses and damp moss cling to the trail. The distinctive Arctic chill lingers in the air, carrying the rich scent of sea salt. Massive boulders that fell from the mountaintops lie scattered along the shore, exposed to the endless washing of the tides. Powerful waves surge in from the distant ocean, exploding into white foam that embraces the soft sand. Nature displays its raw strength here, overpowering every trace of human intervention. As the final rays of sunlight shine through the gap between the two towering cliffs, the entire beach glows with brilliant golden light. The silence becomes so profound that the relentless whistle of the wind through the rocky outcrops can be heard clearly. The secluded shore slowly fades into silence, preserving its timeless mystery. The immense waters of Mardalsfossen suddenly plunge from a height of 2,313 feet, tearing through the peaceful landscape of Møre, Romsdal County. It is one of the tallest waterfalls in Europe, featuring a free fall of up to 974 feet before crashing into the gorge below. The thunderous roar of the water echoes against the cliffs like rolling thunder. Dense mist rises like a thick curtain, covering the entire valley and obscuring the view of those standing below the waterfall. The force of the water creates powerful gusts that continuously spray icy droplets onto the resilient vegetation clinging to the vertical cliffs. Water-soaked patches of moss shimmer beneath the damp air. The existence of this legendary waterfall depends entirely on the operating cycle of the local hydroelectric power station. Water is released only during a few short summer months, allowing the waterfall to flow freely for visitors. The moment the water is released, the once dry gorge is brought dramatically back to life. The raging torrent gradually loses elevation before winding through scattered boulders and flowing into the calm waters of Lake Jostedalsbreen in the distance. The tremendous force of the waterfall softens as the white water blends into the lake's turquoise surface. The landscape slowly returns to the gentle sound of the wind whispering through the Arctic forest. Smooth, rounded pebbles as large as giant eggs lie scattered across Uttakleiv beach, enduring the relentless pounding of icy waves for thousands of years. A stretch of dark sand emerges along the wild coast of Nordland County, extending toward the windswept Atlantic Ocean. The rumbling sound of stones rolling together as the tide recedes resembles the deep sigh of the earth itself. An opening between towering cliffs transforms this shoreline into the perfect stage for the shimmering green aurora dancing across the night sky. Anyone standing here feels as though they have stepped onto another world, distant and profoundly silent. The Arctic cold penetrates deeply, numbing every finger. Near the water's edge rests a remarkable boulder shaped like a gigantic eye, dark and mysterious, forever gazing toward the endless ocean. Crystal clear seawater continuously washes across the stone eye, sweeping away the layers of seaweed clinging to its surface. The rugged terrain fills every visitor with awe. The striking contrast between smooth pebbles and razor-sharp cliffs has made this one of the Arctic's most distinctive coastlines. Uttakleiv is more than a destination. It is a living record of the ocean's extraordinary power to sculpt the landscape. This untouched masterpiece brings the journey to a close, leaving a lasting impression. Harstad emerges in the Arctic with an unexpected landscape of lush green meadows stretching to the water's edge. The gentle sound of waves along the bay blends with the rumble of boat engines from the harbor, creating a town full of energy. Rather than feeling barren, the landscape is vibrant and alive. At the heart of the town stands a massive medieval stone church, like a gateway into another era. Moss clings to its thick stone walls, where bustling trade once took place under the rule of Viking chieftains. Every weathered stone still carries the echoes of ancient history. On a nearby hill rests the enormous Adolf Cannon from World War II, its steel barrel stretching nearly 66 feet toward the sea. Rust and battle scars remain visible beneath the Arctic cold, recalling the time when this region became a heavily fortified military stronghold. Each summer, the town comes alive during the Northern Norway Festival of Arts. Outdoor stages fill the streets with electric guitars and drums, while the aroma of hot fish soup drifts through the air. Harstad leaves a lasting impression through the striking contrast between its rugged past and its vibrant present. Ålesund welcomes visitors with rows of stone buildings in its distinctive Art Nouveau style, stretching across small islands in Møre, Romsdal County. After the devastating fire of 1904, the entire port city was rebuilt in a remarkable revival. Domes and elegant spires stand side by side, reflected in the crystal-clear seawater. From the summit of Mount Axla, a breathtaking panorama embraces the narrow strips of land between pristine fjords and the majestic snow-covered Sunnmøre Alps. Cruise ships and fishing boats glide peacefully across the mirror-like strait. The grandeur of nature perfectly frames the city's refined architectural details. Local residents enjoy a peaceful lifestyle, strolling leisurely along the romantic lamplit Brosundet harbor. A culture deeply connected to the sea has shaped a community that is both resilient and welcoming. The aroma of fresh seafood from the waterfront restaurants fills the crisp air with warmth. Rising from the ashes transformed Ålesund into one of Norway's architectural gems of world-class significance. As sunset paints the graceful spires in shades of pink and reflects brilliantly across the calm fjord, the city resembles a timeless fairy tale that continues to endure with pride. The city of Kristiansund stretches across 4 rocky islands rising from the Norwegian Sea in Møre, a Romsdal county, where the wind and waves never cease. Brightly colored wooden houses cling to the cold bedrock, forming a uniquely circular natural harbor. The steady sound of waves striking the boats greets every arrival from the open sea. The distinctive aroma of salted dried cod fills every corner of the city, telling the story of the industry that has sustained generations of local residents. Elderly workers patiently turn each piece of fish on wind-blown drying racks, their weathered hands bearing the marks of time and sea salt. This traditional craft remains the soul and pride of the region. The historic wooden ferry Sundbåten glides calmly across the water, carrying residents between the 4 islands as it has since the 19th century. Passengers stand quietly on deck, watching the historic streets emerge through the morning mist of the fjord. Daily life unfolds at an unhurried pace filled with remarkable tranquility. As night falls, warm yellow lights begin to glow from the windows, contrasting with the icy darkness offshore. The resilient harbor town continues to stand firm, preserving its memories through countless sea storms. Narvik is anchored deep within the Arctic Circle in Nordland County, where a warm ocean current keeps its harbor free of ice throughout the year. This unique advantage has made the town a strategic gateway, with cross-border freight trains carrying iron ore arriving and departing around the clock. The history of this land was not shaped by fairy tales, but by the thunder of war during the devastating naval battles of 1940. The rusting wrecks of sunken ships still rests silently beneath the waters of Fjord, serving as a chilling reminder of the price previous generations paid for survival. The lifestyle of the local people is deeply connected to the harsh landscape, where skiing directly from mountaintops down toward the sea is considered an ordinary pastime. They endure the long Arctic winter nights by gathering around fireplaces, while the sound of train wheels grinding along the rails becomes a familiar part of everyday life. The cable car to the summit of Fjords is not about seeking romance, but about witnessing humanity's small place within the vast Arctic wilderness. As the northern lights sweep across the barren mountain ridges, Narvik emerges rugged and proud, like a steel fortress standing firm above the frozen sea. The whistle of a train echoes through the valley, announcing your arrival in Åndalsnes, the final stop on the historic Rauma Railway. Beside the station, rows of white and ash-gray wooden houses stand closely together, their glossy black roofs covered with the moisture of mountain mist. Daily life unfolds at a gentle pace beneath towering cliffs. At the edge of the town rises the Troll Wall, a sheer cliff more than 3,281 feet high, standing like a colossal fortress challenging the sky. Tragic stories of base jumpers and climbers who lost their lives here have turned the cliff into a haunting symbol. Its bare rock continues to test the limits of human endurance. Deeper within the narrow streets, the windows of climbing gear shops and cafes glow with welcoming warmth. Locals and travelers gather beside crackling fireplaces, checking their hiking boots while metal carabiners click sharply together. Every step they take prepares them for another ascent. Åndalsnes concludes with the image of neon lights from small houses reflecting across the calm waters of the harbor. As the final train departs, the town returns to the quiet stillness of its secluded valley. It remains defined by rugged landscapes and peaceful homes. Nusfjord lies hidden deep within a fjord surrounded by towering granite cliffs in the Lofotodden archipelago. This historic fishing village has been preserved so completely that stepping onto its narrow path feels like falling into another century. The wind whistles through the mountain pass guarding the entrance. At the harbor, a 19th century mechanical workshop still holds rusted gears and the scent of machine oil. An elderly blacksmith quietly sharpens a fishing hook while gazing across the calm water. He explains that the fjord's narrow, bottle-shaped entrance has protected thousands of boats through countless fierce storms. Along the frost-covered wooden walkways stand rows of rare ochre-yellow rorbu cabins. Unlike the more common red buildings, these yellow cabins once symbolized the prosperity of wealthy cod factory owners. Every weathered timber stained by soot preserves the memory of the cod fishing industry's golden age. Nordfjord's greatest charm lies in its complete silence, untouched by the sound of vehicle engines. Visitors hear only footsteps on wooden planks and the gentle rhythm of water against the boats. Isolated beneath towering cliffs, the village faithfully preserves its ancient maritime identity. This village bears one of the world's shortest names, O, located at the very end of the main road through the Lofotodden archipelago. It feels like a living museum where time seems to have stood still since the 19th century. There are no flashy signs welcoming visitors. Only the unmistakable scent of cod carried by the Arctic sea breeze. Along the weathered wooden walkways, visitors discover an ancient cod liver oil factory, where rusted copper kettles remain exactly as they once were. The elderly museum caretaker fills an old oil lamp, while telling stories of the days when cod liver oil produced here was exported throughout Europe. That prosperous past now lives quietly inside rooms filled with the scent of soot and smoke. Nearby, a traditional wood-fired bakery dating back to 1844 still keeps its ovens burning every day. The baker skillfully kneads dough by hand before pulling fragrant cinnamon rolls from the oven to warm fishermen returning from long days at sea. Their comforting aroma is one of the few things capable of driving away the cold of the mountains and the ocean. Along the waterfront, bright red wooden rorbu cabins stand on stilts above the rocks, facing the endless expanse of the sea. O does not try to impress visitors with modern attractions. Instead, it captures them with the quiet authenticity of a village at the end of the road, where rugged mountains rise behind and the boundless ocean stretches ahead. The Nidelva River winds peacefully around the historic city of Trondheim in Trøndelag County, once the center of Viking power. From above, the camera sweeps across rows of historic wooden warehouses with arched roofs, painted in vibrant colors, and standing proudly along both banks of the river. The gentle sound of flowing water blends with the city's unhurried rhythm. History comes alive as travelers pause before Nidaros Cathedral, the most sacred Gothic landmark in Northern Europe. Local residents leisurely cycle across the historic Old Town Bridge, greeting one another with friendly nods. The peaceful atmosphere unfolds like a nostalgic slow-motion film. Cozy cafes tucked away in narrow cobblestone streets bustle with students and locals, gathering to keep warm. Lively conversations mingle with the aroma of freshly baked bread drifting through the crisp morning air. The vibrant energy of this university city blends seamlessly with its timeless, historic charm. The perfect harmony between a glorious past and youthful vitality makes Trondheim a truly unique destination in central Norway. The city closes the day as the sunset gently settles over the mirror-like river. This land of timeless stories continues to exist in peaceful serenity. Hammerfest stands proudly on the remote northern edge of Finnmark County, one of the oldest towns in the Arctic. Visitors are immediately struck by its stark landscape, surrounded by barren rocky hills and facing the roaring Barents Sea throughout the year. The town's history is one of remarkable resilience, rebuilt time and again after being completely destroyed by fires and the bombing of World War II. Inside the Reconstruction Museum, black and white photographs of makeshift shelters standing amid snowstorms remain on display. They offer a powerful reminder of the determination of those who rebuilt their lives. At the harbor, the Royal and Ancient Polar Bear Society, Isbjørnklubben, welcomes visitors with exhibits dedicated to Arctic hunting and exploration. Elderly locals recount stories of the days when wooden boats confronted drifting sea ice during whaling expeditions. Every artifact, weathered by salt and time, preserves the spirit of that remarkable era. The city's landmark is the stone Struve Geodetic Arc Monument, commemorating the scientific effort to measure the size of the Earth during the 19th century. Hammerfest needs no extravagance to impress. This Arctic port town captivates visitors through its rugged character and enduring strength. People call Molde the City of Roses for a remarkable reason. In this coastal city of Møre, a Romsdal county, vibrant rose gardens bloom beside lush green parks, despite Norway's chilly climate. The colorful blossoms and their gentle fragrance create a rare sense of elegance amid the northern cold. From those flower-lined streets, a narrow trail leads steadily uphill. With every step, the town grows smaller below. The final destination is the Varden viewpoint, standing proudly at an elevation of 1,335 feet. It is a place that leaves every visitor speechless. From the summit of Varden, the breathtaking mold panorama unfolds before your eyes. It stretches like a vast ribbon of nature, woven from 222 snow-covered mountain peaks rising across the fjord. Their sharp summits pierce the sky like sculptures carved from ice. Fjord reaches into the heart of Vestland County as one of the narrowest fjords in the world, measuring just 820 feet wide at its narrowest point. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is enclosed by towering cliffs, rising as high as 4,593 feet. Shadows from the mountain peaks sweep downward, covering the calm waters below. Over tens of thousands of years, ancient glaciers carved the granite into immense vertical walls. Slender waterfalls plunge from the lofty peaks, breaking the profound silence of the fjord. The enclosed geological structure creates an overwhelming sense of pressure throughout the surrounding landscape. Small, isolated villages scattered beneath the cliffs maintain a secluded way of life, where transportation depends entirely on waterways. the local residents have adapted to living with little sunlight for months at a time because the towering mountains block the sun. The gentle sound of oars striking the water breaks a silence that has endured for centuries. As the journey passes through the final narrow bends, the fjord widens, revealing the clear boundary between the rugged mountain pass and the vast open ocean. Gentle waves glide alongside the boat before quickly disappearing into the deep waters. The untouched landscape fades into the distance, restoring complete silence to the Arctic wilderness. A strip of cold steel extends boldly into open space from a height of 1,762 feet on the slopes of Mount Saksa in Møre, Romsdal County. Reinebringen hangs suspended above sheer cliffs, challenging every visitor with a dizzying view plunging straight into the abyss below. The cold air of the Arctic night settles over the windswept landscape, darkening the eternal mountain peaks. The absolute silence of the wilderness restores its timeless majesty. The sharp peak of Fjords rises majestically to more than 1,640 feet in Nordland County, overlooking the fishing village of Henningsvær below. Every step must cling to the steep mountainside, where slippery rocks and loose ground test the limits of endurance. The roar of the sea wind crashes against the cliffs, carrying the bone-chilling cold of the high Arctic. The higher the climb, the more heavily each breath merges with the powerful rhythm of untamed nature. Hardy vegetation clings to narrow cracks in the rocks, bending beneath relentless blasts of icy air. Wisps of mist drift downward, wrapping around the travelers' feet as though trying to hold them back. A breathtaking panorama unfolds, revealing the entire Lofotodden archipelago floating upon the deep blue ocean. Slender bridges stretch across the water, linking the scattered islands with remarkable clarity. The distant activity of fishing boats echoes through the air, bringing warmth to the solitary traveler standing on the summit. The mountain summit is bathed in crystal clear light, illuminating the endless boundary between sky and sea. Every trace of exhaustion disappears, replaced by a profound sense of freedom while embracing the grandeur of the landscape. absolute silence remains, broken only by the steady rhythm of a heartbeat, blending with the endless whistle of the wind. Located 217 miles north of the Arctic Circle, the capital of the Arctic, Tromsø, rises proudly between fjords and snow-covered mountains. This city was once the cradle of many legendary polar expeditions. Lights from its historic buildings reflect across the calm fjord, softening the bitter cold of Troms County. Known as the Paris of the North, Tromsø boasts a vibrant cultural and culinary scene that captivates visitors. Local residents stroll leisurely through snow-covered streets, filling the city with warmth through their energetic daily lives. Their resilience on the edge of the Arctic Ocean creates an atmosphere of remarkable comfort. This world-class travel destination is one of the finest places to witness the magical northern lights during the long winter. In summer, the midnight sun brings endless bright nights, bathing the landscape in soft pink light. Nature and humanity come together to create unforgettable Arctic moments. The harmony between rugged landscapes and modern life makes Norway's largest northern city a truly unique destination. Tromsø concludes the journey with a peaceful final note, leaving an unforgettable impression on every traveler. The land of light endures with timeless pride. Hundreds of thousands of sharp bird calls tear through the mist surrounding Rundebird Cliff in Møre, Romsdal County. This sheer cliff, rising above the Atlantic Ocean, instantly becomes one of Northern Europe's busiest seabird cities. Powerful sea winds sweep across the cliffs, driving icy air through every rugged crevice. More than 500,000 seabirds, especially Atlantic puffins, take flight at once, filling the sky. They dive decisively from heights of hundreds of feet into the deep blue sea to catch fish before returning with their beaks full. The ocean below churns beneath the endless beating of thousands of wings. Countless nests cling tightly to moss-covered rock ledges despite the crashing waves roaring below the cliffs. The struggle for living space unfolds through constant wing beats and the cries of hungry chicks. The salty scent of the ocean blends with the raw fragrance of the wild, enveloping the entire ecosystem. Yes, the Arctic night arrives with bitterly cold air, temporarily slowing the frantic life upon the cliffs. The last birds retreat into precarious rocky niches to escape the powerful gusts. The salt-filled air drifts into the darkness as the steady roar of the waves echoes along the shore. Trollstigen appears like a winding gray ribbon clinging tightly to the sheer cliffs of Møre, Romsdal County. Nicknamed the Troll's Ladder, this mountain pass challenges every driver with breathtaking gradients from the very first feet of the climb. The constant roar of engines echoes through the rugged vertical landscape. The steering wheel must be turned sharply, again and again, while navigating the 11 dangerous hairpin bends that make this road an extraordinary engineering achievement. The smell of hot tires mixes with the surrounding fog, with gray rock walls on one side and a bottomless abyss on the other. Every vehicle inches upward, as if climbing a rope ladder. This national tourist route connects the town of Åndalsnes with the village of Valldal through a journey that pushes every driver to their limits. Mist from a nearby waterfall sweeps across the windshield, carrying its characteristic icy chill. The thunderous sound of cascading water completely overwhelms the noise of the engine. After the final hairpin turn, the vehicle reaches the summit, revealing a panoramic view of the gray ribbon winding through the valley below. Brilliant white snow clings to the mountain peaks, sparkling beneath the first rays of the morning sun. Silence suddenly settles over the landscape, broken only by the soft whistle of the wind through the guardrails. The 2,815-foot-tall rock formation Dunmannen in Nordland County resembles a gigantic man lying on his back beneath the sky. The journey begins by gripping steep rock ledges, where muddy ground tests every step. The final step onto the summit reveals a panoramic view of thousands of small islands floating across the vast ocean. Exhaustion instantly gives way to overwhelming joy beneath the immense Arctic sky. Silence suddenly fills the landscape, broken only by the steady whistle of the wind through the eternal cliffs. The raging waves of the Norwegian Sea crash directly onto the sandy shore of Vestland County, only to be stopped by the solitary Canistinen sea stack standing 9.8 feet tall. This granite formation remains firmly rooted amid endless white sea foam, enduring the crushing force of the freezing ocean. The sound of water tearing through the waves echoes across the rocky shoreline with a deep, thunderous roar. A journey through Nordfjord in the Stad region takes you across some of the most spectacular geographical contrasts imaginable. A permanent glacier, an inland fjord, and the vast ocean blend together within just 2 hours of travel. The entire region unfolds into a breathtaking natural landscape unlike any other. It is one of the finest destinations in Northern Europe. The windswept Stad Peninsula faces the wild ocean with its towering, rugged cliffs. Right beside them, crystal white sandy beaches embrace the stunning deep blue sea. This fjord reaches an impressive depth of more than 1,837 feet below sea level. Harshness and serenity exist here in perfect harmony. The Viking legacy shines proudly at the heart of the fjord through a massive 98.4-foot-long warship. This magnificent dragon ship has been completely reconstructed from a 9th century burial mound. The area once served as a long-standing stronghold for powerful sea chieftains. Its epic history still seems vividly alive today. Ancient horses with distinctive upright manes graze peacefully in the valley. Far offshore, the ruins of a mysterious monastery lie hidden on a remote rocky island. The fjord's long history is inseparably woven into its magnificent natural scenery. Nordfjord remains an eternal symbol of Norway's pride. Fjord in the Stranda region is one of Norway's greatest natural masterpieces. Stretching 9.3 miles, this fjord is world famous for its spectacular waterfalls. The most iconic is the Seven Sisters Waterfall, which plunges from a height of 820 feet in breathtaking grandeur. Towering cliffs surround the fjord, creating a dramatic and majestic landscape. The climate here is extremely harsh during winter, with powerful snowstorms. Thick snow completely covers the surrounding mountain peaks and valleys. The adventurous mountain road leading to the fjord is closed from November through May each year. This isolated terrain has challenged human survival for centuries. This strategic fjord once served as an important Viking shipbuilding center. Archaeologists have discovered numerous iron battle axes and the remains of ancient shipyards. The Norse people harvested oak from the dense forests to build their dragon ships. Brave warriors turned this place into a launching point for great expeditions. Today, Geiranger Fjord is proudly recognized as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site. Its unspoiled landscape blends perfectly with stories of heroic epics. Modern cruise ships glide gently across its calm, emerald green waters. This magnificent fjord remains an eternal symbol of Norway's pride. Lysefjord, in the municipality of Sandnes, is one of Norway's steepest natural wonders. It is famously known as the Fjord of Light, a name that is both striking and unique. Its light gray granite cliffs brilliantly reflect the sunlight. The entire landscape is filled with the wild and majestic beauty of the northern wilderness. Stretching 26.1 miles, this fjord captivates visitors with its dramatic beauty. Towering cliffs nearly 3,281 feet high rise straight from the mysterious deep blue waters. Most iconic is the magnificent Preikestolen cliff, suspended between the clouds above the windswept landscape throughout the year. Its rugged terrain challenges every adventure seeker. For the ancient Vikings, the steep cliffs were too rugged for farming. This deep and windswept fjord mainly served as a secret passage. It was a formidable natural fortress where warships could hide safely. Brave warriors often launched surprise ambushes from this location. After gathering their forces, fleets of dragon ships would sail from the fjord into the vast ocean. Today, Lysefjord has preserved both its historical significance and its breathtaking natural beauty. The harmony between its glorious past and magnificent landscape creates an enduring attraction. This great fjord remains a lasting source of national pride. Geiranger Fjord embraces the town of Vadsø, with its cold blue waters and an endless horizon. Unlike the famous fjords of western Norway, with their towering cliffs, Geiranger Fjord offers a wide-open, untouched landscape that reflects the true spirit of the Arctic. This vast northern scenery provides a breathtaking sense of openness to everyone who visits. More than 1,000 years ago, brave Viking warriors conquered these harsh, icy waters. Aboard their sturdy, long dragon ships, they crossed rough seas to explore new maritime routes. Ancient settlers chose this strategic location to establish thriving seafood trading posts with many tribes. Today, these subarctic waters are rich in diverse marine resources. They are home to millions of giant king crabs and many valuable cod species. Cold ocean currents flowing through the fjord sustain a unique marine ecosystem. The natural environment is carefully protected. During the summer, birdwatching enthusiasts gather on the untouched islands along the fjord. Visitors enjoy casting their own fishing nets or kayaking beneath the midnight sun. The sound of fishing boat horns echoes through the small town every morning. Peaceful life continues at its own gentle pace. Fjord stretches from north to south, running from the center of Stavanger to the municipality of Sandnes. This waterway, approximately 8.1 miles long, serves as a blue ribbon connecting the region's bustling urban areas. Its calm waters are sheltered by low hills and densely wooded peninsulas along both shores. Unlike the remote and rugged fjords, this fjord is closely tied to busy industrial life. Centuries ago, it was a vital maritime trade route for generations of Norse inhabitants. Ancient wooden sailing ships regularly traveled these waters to transport the distinctive handcrafted pottery produced in Sandnes. During the Viking Age, these sheltered waters were mainly used by chieftains as a safe anchorage for their fleets before sailing into the open ocean. The traces of ancient warfare have now given way to bustling commercial harbors. The powerful transformation of history has turned this place into a major maritime economic center. Today, modern marinas are constantly busy with cargo vessels and passenger boats. Local residents enjoy walking along the waterfront or sailing recreational boats after work. The gentle sound of waves against fishing boats creates the area's distinctive atmosphere. A vibrant urban lifestyle unfolds harmoniously along the fjord. Eidfjord captivates visitors with its emerald green waters, towering cliffs, and magnificent waterfalls cascading from the mountain peaks. Located at the end of Hardangerfjord, it is one of the destinations where nature has remained almost unchanged for thousands of years. The vast northern landscape opens up an extraordinary sense of freedom. This rugged scenery is the same landscape the Vikings once looked upon as they lived along Norway's remote fjords. For them, these deep waters were not only a source of livelihood, but also the starting point for voyages across the sea. The sheltered geography became the perfect launching point for their long dragon ships. Beneath the ground along the fjord, archaeologists have discovered the largest Iron Age burial site, containing hundreds of solid stone graves. The traces of ancient warfare and the battle axes of great Norse chieftains have become deeply embedded within the gray granite mountains. This glorious history has been preserved for more than 1,000 years. The underground Sima hydroelectric power station inside the mountain operates continuously using the immense water pressure from Voringsfossen waterfall. This natural energy source supplies electricity to the surrounding region without disturbing the pristine landscape. Steep tunnels carved through the rock directly connect the fjord with the plateau above. Orlandsfjord is a southern branch of Sognefjord in Vestland County. This natural waterway stretches 18 miles and reaches a maximum depth of 3,156 feet. This maritime route once witnessed Viking dragon ships sailing back and forth. The area has preserved its pristine natural landscape to this day. The region is surrounded by towering cliffs rising 4,593 feet. Snow-covered mountain peaks create a striking contrast with the emerald green waters. Numerous waterfalls plunge directly from the mountaintops to the bottom of the fjord. The tranquil waters reflect the entire landscape beneath the brilliant morning sunlight. The town of Orland, located along the shore, has long existed as a bustling trading port. Its narrow terrain enabled the Vikings to defend themselves effectively against attacks. Skilled craftsmen harvested pine timber from the dense forests. This durable wood was used to build warships. Visitors often travel by boat to experience the solitude of the natural surroundings. The crystal-clear waters preserve an atmosphere of complete tranquility. The Stetind viewpoint extends 98.4 feet outward, offering a breathtaking panoramic view. This magnificent scenery always creates a profound sense of peace. Fjord lies deep within the rugged terrain of the municipality of Harstad. This tranquil waterway stretches 21.7 miles across the mainland. The fjord reaches a maximum depth of about 1,444 feet below sea level. This strategic waterway once served as an anchorage for ancient Viking fleets. This steep terrain formed a strong natural defensive fortress. Norse warriors could easily spot approaching enemies from a great distance. The constantly changing weather created extremely harsh challenges. Winter avalanches threatened the lives of those living along the shore. Today, visitors usually explore this remote fjord by boat. Its peaceful surroundings have preserved their pristine beauty for centuries. The calm surface of the fjord resembles a giant mirror reflecting the blue sky. This vast wilderness always brings a profound sense of peace. The Storfjord waterway system stretches 68.4 miles through the heart of the Stranda region. This immense body of salt water served as an important maritime route. The deepest point reaches 2,228 feet below sea level, concealing the world beneath its waters. In ancient times, Norse chieftains anchored many large warships here. Natural hazards constantly threaten the steep, rocky mountainsides. The fractured Åkerneset mountain could collapse into the fjord at any moment. Fertile patches of land are scattered beyond the cold mist. Local people made full use of every available foot of precious land. Constantly changing weather forged exceptional seafaring skills. The shadow of a powerful era still lingers within the white mist. The deep waters preserve countless glorious, epic stories. Sailing along this ancient waterway offers an unforgettable visual experience. The cold wind echoing through the rocky crevices sings in praise of resilience. Sognefjorden is a fjord exactly 5.6 miles long, located in the municipality of Segla. Its deep emerald waters possess a pristine natural beauty. Its isolated geography has made it a distinctive destination along Norway's western coast. The fjord is preparing to enter a new chapter with the construction of a suspension bridge. This massive structure will span the deep fjord in the future. Modern engineering continues the ancient ambition to conquer the sea. The meeting of past and present opens new opportunities for development. This magnificent landscape will forever remain an enduring symbol. Located along the coast of the municipality of Kvalvika, this stretch of sea is notoriously dangerous. The coastline extends approximately 11.8 miles between the towns of Molde and Kristiansund. The natural scenery possesses a wild and intimidating beauty. Powerful waves from the Norwegian Sea crash directly onto the shallow, rocky coastline. White sea foam constantly rises, obscuring visibility for navigation. Countless small, barren islands are scattered across the cold, wind-swept seascape. Today, the modern Atlantic Ocean Road runs parallel to the coastline. This remarkable engineering work links the small islands through a system of bridges. Visitors can safely witness the fury of the ocean from secure viewpoints. The raw power of nature remains present in every crashing wave. Towering granite cliffs rising as high as 3,609 feet plunge directly into the deep blue waters, shaping Trollfjorden in Hadsel. These immense rock formations cast vast shadows, leaving no gentle shoreline along the water's edge. Sunlight is almost entirely blocked, creating a dark and mysterious atmosphere. This pristine natural wonder is a sanctuary for white-tailed sea eagles. This spectacular geological fissure is only 1.2 miles long. The fjord is so narrow that its entrance measures just 328 feet across.